Good evening, everyone. Just tell you a little bit about myself. I was born in Juarez, Mexico. To this day, that city is known to be one of the most dangerous cities in North America, so it's pretty scary. We moved to the United States when I was around 5 years old, and we did so because of the violence occurring during that time. We first moved across the border to to El Paso, Texas. But after a few months, we decided to move to Phoenix to reunite with the rest of our family. We struggled to assimilate at first, especially my mother. Domestic violence was very present in my family. One day, my mom, she decided that she didn't want to live in fear anymore, and so she packed up her bags and she dropped me off at my grandma's house, and she took the first bus back to Mexico. It was a little difficult, but with the help of my grandma, I helped move along. My grandma, at that time, she had her 5 daughters with her, and they were pretty close to my age, so we all grew up together and are close in age. If it weren't for them, I would probably not be the responsible adult that I am today, so I have a lot to thank them. It did make it a little interesting to grow up with 5 girls. They did make my life a living hell sometimes, but I enjoyed every second of it. I graduated from Trevor Bond High School back in 2008. I did it in the top 5% of my class, so that was one of my first great accomplishments. After I graduated from high school, I took some time off and I went off to work at McDonald's, which was my first job. After a few years, I became a manager and was there for a few years. After a couple of years, I found it very boring, and so I decided to go back to school. I originally was set on going for engineering, but after a few years I found out that that was not for me. Then after a semester or two, after taking a break, of course, I decided to go for economics, and I believe that I chose that degree because of my current job. I currently work for PayPal as a compliance analyst. What I do is I look for suspicious activity and I report it to the government. Recently, me and a group of 5, we were able to take down a huge ring of accounts that were engaged in the exploitation of minors. So that was one of the greatest big accomplishments I think I had recently. One of my favorite quotes, I believe, is one of my favorites, is from Barack Obama, and it is, "Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek." I find myself reading this quote quite often when I feel myself hopeless because of the certain situation that we are, or when I feel lost. I consider myself a very optimistic and realistic person. I try to make goals that I can accomplish. Currently, I'm working on accomplishing one of my biggest goals, which is to graduate from ASU and having my name called as the next graduate, Caesar Lee.